Okay, so very cool house, interesting color, but I don't know why they didn't trim out the sides, and then I see a bunch of, like the blue right there, a bunch of misses as well. I'll just kind of go through what we do. Pressure wash, obviously. We trench the rocks back, and we dig all this stuff back, like areas like here. We want to get that away from the wood, because then you'll have termites and you'll have rot. So we get all this stuff back, all of it back, and we pressure wash everything. And then even underneath everything, and everything's caulked in. That's what I'm noticing that they didn't do. We caulk in these. We caulk it all in. That's what we do. So we caulk in every window. We caulk in the whole deal. So I know as we walk under here, we caulk in those crease lines, stuff like that. That's the stuff that saves you, you know, that keeps the water out for long periods of time. Once the water gets in there, then you have issues. So do they drop stain or what happened? I'm not really trying to like crime scene investigate here, but it looks like a bucket of stain took a tumble. Again, everything's pressure washed, everything's masked with 3M film. We caulk everything. We even caulked the little 1x right there. We caulk everything in, every single aspect. This deck, I would suggest underneath this stuff right here, just a pressure wash, but it looks pretty good. This right here, I'm not sure really what happened. It looks as if they were walking on it when it was wet. It got dirty really fast. It smells of stain, you know, so it doesn't look like it's very strong though. So I'm not sure. What we do is we just pressure wash it out. We clean all this, clean this guy up, and then put a really good coat of Armstrong or Super Deck. It depends. This looks like a cedar. Looks nice, but it's kind of light. I think I would have. We do everything 2 coats. May it be paint, may it be stain. 2 coats is pretty much the norm for us. Caulk that line in. Caulk everything in, all this stuff here. So that's the decks. The decks would be pressure washed, cleaned off as best as possible, and best that we can, and then we'd go ahead and we would stain them. And I wouldn't worry too much about underneath these. I would just pressure wash to kind of clean them out. And that'll save you some money too. I'll lock everything up here. I'll take a look at, sorry I'm moving the video so much. Gotta make sure that door's locked. Back upstairs. I apologize for the crazy video view here. Okay. And that key's in the front door. Okay, so it would be the same thing out there though. Complete prep all the way around. Everything in here as well. They trimmed out here. I think all the windows should be trimmed in this manner. This is how we do it. We wrap them so it appears if it's one thing. Again, like this line right here, we caulk it all in, the whole thing. House is relatively small. I mean, it's kind of big, but it's small enough that we could do it in pressure wash, prep, mask, shoot, trim out, maybe 4 days. That's what I'm going to gauge it at, is 4 days. But I would suggest on this deck, since it's not going to match, that we either try to match that or we do another type. You know, it depends on the colors we go, obviously. But a dark brown would be really nice. There's a lot of different directions that could go. And again, it's not rocket science. High-end prep, I don't know what that was. High-end prep is basically just that. We caulk in everything. We caulk in everything that we can. We try to seal the place up, and that's the trick. All lights come off the building. They go back on when we're complete. And that is that. So it would be the same as the decks. What I'll do is I'll set this up a la carte. It will be 2 videos. It'll be the one video of the exterior, and then I'll have a separate price just for the decks as well, to kind of get you on that and let you see what our price is. But the decks look pretty good. They just need a good cleaning and possibly a better stain. Looks really light to me. So that's that. I do need to look at that front door, or that back door. This door, those two side doors down on that side of the house would be just painted into the body color. This door needs a sanding and a spar varnish, so I'll put that on there too. And then let me take this key. Beautiful house though. I mean, really great. It's really nice. It looks very small when I pulled up, and then I was like, wow, you kept going and going. Okay, here we go. So this door as well. Oh yeah, that door will need sanding and a spar varnish as well. It's taking the brunt of the weather, and it will for where it's at. It's facing out. So again, we plug and patch everything. Everything. We go through, pressure wash, and clean everything. Obviously at one point there was a deck here because there's a nice light there, so all lights, like I said, come off, and we go through and we paint them. We paint behind them. Stuff like this is fixed properly with this material we use called Plastawood, and that fixes that, so at least that saves you that issue. But again, a lot of it too is the cedar trees are kind of dumping on the deck a little bit, but this does not look like it was stained to me. This looks very dry. It looks like it was possibly forgotten. I'm not sure, but we sand all the handrails for a nice smooth edge. This one's pretty much new, so it'll be a relatively light sand, but we sand, and then we bleach, and we pressure wash, and we clean everything off. And then comes the oil stain. We spray it usually, and back brush, and everything is 2 coats. So that is basically the house. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this and set up a video for the interior.